maybe there's a different agenda. Maybe it's all about rolling out their central bank digital currency. And you see, that's why this is, a genuine concern. And
Soon, the complete takeover of your life will be complete by the government.
Important piece of legislation that may or may not yet be on your radar. Last week, I introduced the Central Bank Digital Currency Anti-Surveillance State Act to halt the efforts of unelected bureaucrats here in Washington, D.C. from stripping Americans of their right to financial privacy. Digital assets in the digital economy are the future, but the Federal Reserve should play no role in developing a central bank digital currency, or otherwise known as a CBDC. The consequences, if we get it wrong, are far too serious. The Biden administration is currently itching to create a digital authoritarian-styled surveillance-style digital dollar. And through an executive order, they are pursuing analysis on a retail CBDC that would not be open, permissionless, or private. In fact, it would be ridden with significant risk to Americans' privacy, security, financial inclusion, and a whole lot more. This kind of digital currency would give the federal government access to and control over literally every financial transaction conducted by Americans.
So the government is launching its FedNow program in July. A lot of you may not have heard about FedNow because obviously the mainstream media is not going to talk about it. So FedNow is a competitor of Cash App, but is run by the government. And it's so interesting that in the last few days, the founder of Cash App was mysteriously murdered in San Francisco. I'm not saying these two things are related because the FedNow announcement was about a month or so ago. But think about it. What the government is looking to do is to establish a social credit system. They will slowly introduce this FedNow as a competitor, but when the government gets into an industry, it becomes the dominant player and pushes everybody out. So instead of using Cash App or Zelle or any of the other methods to send money to your friends, the government is going to control that by using FedNow. And this is the way that the government's going to infringe upon your rights.
Cash is king. I mean, if you can hold it in your hand, you have power over that. The minute it's all digitized, somebody else is going to have control over that. And it's just a question of, are they going to let you live your life? Or are they going to decide to do things to circumvent what you want to do? And think about what we've already seen in Canada. You remember when the truckers were protesting the vax mandates, they had banks. Some of the government froze some of their banks. You had charities that were trying to help these guys, and that was frozen. So we've already seen government really overstep its bounds as it is in the banking situation and financial sector that we have now. Can you imagine if we went to something like a central bank digital currency? So I'm glad that we're at the tip of the sphere on this. I think it's really important that states stand up to fight back against some of the things that are going on, well, most of the things that are going on right now in Washington, because they don't have your best interests at heart. They have their own power at heart. They have their own agenda that they're looking to advance.
Because they will have insight into everything you purchase. Want to go buy a gun? Nah, that doesn't equate to our ESG, to our woke, to our rules. You can't buy a gun. Therefore, there goes your Second Amendment rights. Want to talk bad about the LG population? That doesn't qualify. They're a protected class. You cannot purchase. Want to preach the truth about the word of God when it comes to human sexuality and when it comes to sin? It does not equate. That does not equate to our rules for you. So therefore, you cannot spend money. This is all setting up the end of days, the mark of the beast. It is coming. And they introduced this concept through these shots that were given out 3 years ago. And people didn't push back. So what do you think? They saw that and said, we are conditioning them to receive this. So this FedNow system is coming. It'll be here in July. And watch, by the end of the year, and probably by the next year or two, it'll be the dominant player in the space. Cash Out will probably be diminishing. Zelle will probably be diminishing. It'll just be FedNow. And what it's doing is setting you up to receive the central bank digital currency. It's setting you up because paper is going away. The dollar is falling. The dollar is probably going to collapse here soon. So what it's doing is it's setting you up to receive it's conditioning you to be used to having the federal government watching your purchases and watching how, because they're going to make it super fast and make it very well to where you feel, oh, it's convenient. I can't push back on this. I don't care about the government telling me where I can purchase and what I can purchase. It's all good. I'm using FedNow. And what they're doing, they're dumbing us down through social media, through all these other things. They're conditioning us to receive the government as our father, as our ruler. They're setting up a tyrannical, authoritarian government. We can't be victims. We are not victims. We are empowered for greatness.